I'm old.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, I'm like the Crypt Keeper.
Okay, that's enough.
I want my body back.
And I don't want mine. My wedding's tomorrow. Oh my God, my wedding's tomorrow.
I can't marry Ryan. Ew. Why don't we like...
Yes, I see what you're saying. A jolt. Okay, you go over there, and I go over here. Go. I won't go.
Instructor, let's get started. Today we're going to learn about lesson 1.4, human needs and developmental stages. Let's get right into it. It is important to understand human needs and developmental stages to be able to communicate effectively and provide holistic care. You understanding a patient's developmental stage can help you see why you need help, why they need your help. If you're taking care of a patient who is 30 years old, but their developmental level is basically their mind, their mental level is like that of a 8-year-old, and we know that 8-year-olds can't cook or they're unable to provide meals for themselves. So you're going to assist them with feeding. Another example, you might be taking care of a newborn. Okay, their developmental level is not that of a teenager or an adult, so they're not going to be able to feed themselves. They can't go to the bathroom by themselves. So you have to change them, do everything for them, because mentally they can't use their brain to put two and two together on different aspects to do that for themselves. Maslow's theory is based on the ranking of the importance of human needs and the belief that human actions are based on motivation to meet these needs. So at the top of that chart, you have that self-actualization. This is where you know who you are. You're comfortable with expressing your ideas and making it, bringing it into the world. And to keep that level of assurity, you're going to do everything at the bottom that brings that holds that up. So take for instance, my passion. I want to train nurses on how to give quality care, because all too often I've seen the lower end of that spectrum. But I wouldn't be able to reach this if I didn't have my physiological needs. If I'm not eating, if I didn't have a place to live, or if I didn't have safety, if I didn't have that support of love and belongingness, if I didn't have self-esteem about myself, I couldn't reach this top stage here. So to get to that top self-actualization phase, you have to take care of the most basic needs first in order to get there. I'm not going to feel comfortable in expressing my passion or bringing my desire to be a senior instructor into fruition if I didn't have my basic needs taken care of. So in short, you can't enjoy being you without having those basic needs taken care of. Your behaviors are driven and guided by a set of basic needs. So if you don't have food or water, you might be irritable. If you don't have love and belonging, you might feel lonely or depressed. If you didn't have safety or security, you might be scared all the time. If you have low self-esteem, you might want to harm yourself. So we as the healthcare delivery system, we're trying to keep the patients at that self-actualization level. Everyone is not all the way here. You know, we have to build that up, giving them a place to live, like our long-term care facilities or residential homes. Give them safe and security. Make sure you have a name badge to let that patient know that this is safe for us to interact with each other, to provide you with that care. We allow families to visit to give that support so that you can get further into that self-actualization level, to where you're feeling confident about yourself to be able to do what you love to do, whether that being teaching someone in good favor, of course, whether it being you're doing your passion, you're fulfilling your dreams. With you being that way, there's less harm in the world. Okay, we won't have to worry about you harming yourself or harming other people. We want everyone at this level. So let's talk about the physiological needs. You can't do anything without food, water, and a place to live, because without food you can die. Without air, you're gonna die. You know, a place where there's clean air where you can breathe and circulation is clear. Food, you need something to eat. Your body needs energy to be able to move. Without food, you don't have the energy to do anything. What is your brain going to run off of? Your brain runs off of sugar alone. You need something to drink. If we become too dehydrated, this can affect our blood pressure. It can prevent blood from being able to get to those vital organs. You need a place to live to protect against the dangers of the weather, so different insects that can kill you. You need clothing to do that as well. The shelter is going to provide you with that safety from the weather. Clothing is to help you feel not only being comfortable with being covered up, it's going to also provide that protective layer from insects and stuff in that matter too. Warm. We need to be warm. We can't be too cold and we can't be too hot. We have to be in there 98.6 temp range. You need your sleep. This is part of the shelter, like having somewhere where you can rest your body. These physical needs are things that must be taken care of for you to live. You have that. Your life is on the line with these. Without food, water, place to live, you can die indefinitely. Just think about it. If you were a baby, what does that baby need? A place to live. They need their food. They need clothes. They need to be able to breathe. Get a humidifier to make sure their breathing is okay. We want our babies to feel good about themselves. We want them happy overall. They're not going to be happy if they're having to cry all the time because they're not in that comforted space. Let's go to the safety column. We want to feel safe. Without that, we can go off of that fear that can drive us into an unsafe environment. We might be thinking there's someone trying to rob us and we trying to run away and we get hit by a bus. We have to feel safe where we are. That's a security system. We don't want to feel like we're going to get robbed. So we take measures into ensuring that we're safe. In the healthcare field, the patients feel safe knowing that who you are, your name tag is important. Make sure you have that. Make sure the doors are not so easy for people to just come in and out of. They can potentially harm the patient. Make sure that it's not easy for the patient to get out without no one knowing. If you feel safe, you're more inclined to feel good about yourself, to where you can do what you want, express your passion into the world. The resident doesn't need to feel like that they're going to fall at any time. I mean, they can, but they don't need to feel that way. You need to do your frequent checks. Make sure the bed is lower. Make sure there's no clutter in the floor where they're walking at or something they can trip on. Put no rugs in the area. Make sure they're using their cane. Make sure they're using their collar in case something is emergent of happening. That love and belonging. If you have support of your family or family and friends, you are more inclined to feel good about yourself, to where you can get your dream sailing. The residents have access to visit have visitors from family and friends. That support is going to help them want to carry on with their care. Just think about you having a newborn. You can feel the effects of you showing that baby love. That baby gets that confidence there. They know that they have a great parent with them. It's to the point to where you can feel it coming off of that baby. The happier they feel in that aspect, the better they are able to thrive. Esteem. You want to feel good about yourself. You want to hear good things about yourself. If you're not saying it to yourself, please do. Showing a patient respect can ensure that esteem is where it needs to be. Ma'am, you look very beautiful today. How you view yourself affects that climbing of that self-actualization. You're not gonna want to do what you really want to do in the world if you don't feel confident about yourself. Once you reach all of those, then you've reached that self-actualization. You feel content. This level refers to the desire to attain life goals and being truly satisfied and being the most one can be. And we want everyone to feel this way. You're happier when you can be what you planned or dreamed to be. Understand that you cannot get there without this order. Maslow theorized that one cannot attain a higher level in any of these categories if the levels below are not met. So you can't feel safe if you don't have food or water. You're not going to feel the support of other people if you're not supporting yourself with feeding yourself or having a safe environment to be in. The hierarchy is subjective. This triangle is subjective because each individual determines what each level means for them. Love and belonging for one person having a relationship with the opposite, a significant other, versus someone having an animal. Eating meats for this person is meeting those physiological aspect of the food chain versus this vegetarian who doesn't eat meat. It's different. It's specific or subjective given the individual. With the esteem need, this person, their esteem is based off how they look versus this person's esteem is based off how they feel with their accomplishments. It's subjective. I want to add that spirituality is part of that love and belonging. When you have a good spiritual aspect on what you believe in, that will affect how the interactions with others is perceived to you. If your spirituality consists of you being a Christian, you feel good by doing good to other people versus someone who's on the opposite of that chain. They feel better about doing bad, and we don't want to deal with them. For your patient, you have to maintain their rights. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a good basis for providing holistic care and communicating with clients based on their needs and preferences. Let's say with the physiological different patients, we have this one patient that said they're diabetic. They need food when they are hypoglycemic. You're going to give that patient actual food versus this patient who's on TPN where their food has to be administered via an IV setting. You're not going to give them the food that you would give a diabetic or a normal person. Normal food, you're going to give them their food different. When feeding a baby, you're going to give that baby milk instead of real food versus a toddler, you're going to give them real food. Knowing that each patient needs food is what's going to help wrap your care around those needs. So additionally, knowing that a newly admitted resident may have difficulty reaching a higher level of needs if their basic needs are not met is good starting grounds. It's a good starting point for providing care. And some strategies that help integrate Maslow's hierarchy of needs when providing care include the following: following the nursing plan of care to meet physiological needs. If their care plan say they are per-week diet, give them the baby food like food because we don't want to kill them. They need to eat so they can live, but we don't want to administer that food in the wrong form that'll cause them to choke and it'll kill them too. So the doctors say they can't swallow food. They can't swallow normal food, so we have to crush it up for them. We follow that plan of care to keep them alive. Implementing fall precautions to keep residents safe. That's that safety bar there. If a resident fall and they hit their head too hard, they can die. So the resident need to feel safe in their environment. Make sure you're doing those check-ins on them. Make sure the call light is there, so if they do fall and you're not there, they can have help. If they are at risk for fall, they should have a fall mat. Answering call lights promptly and consistently, providing a calm, comfortable environment to make residents feel secure. But even if they keep pressing the lights, don't make them feel bad about it. That one time out of 18 times they pressed it could save their life. It's a safety in that safety row. Respecting residents' belongings and asking their preferences for grooming, bathing, and meals that give them the autonomy in their care. This creates a self-esteem. It'll make that patient feel good that they're involved in their care, given that they were doing it for a long time without assistance. Giving them as much autonomy in their care as you can. Encouraging interactions among residents with similar interests to promote a feeling of belongingness. Again, that fits in that love and belonging. Let them interact with people. Human beings, we need to interact with other humans to feel human. Offering to bring residents to on-site religious activities or referring them to social services for chaplain. This all is to promote that love and belonging, that spiritual aspect. All of this is to help get that patient to feeling good about themselves, to feeling content. This will bring about less harm in the world for sure, but it will lower the chances of them harming themselves or others. Another component with Maslow's hierarchy of needs is that it can also be applied to the work environment to enhance professionalism by doing these following. Offering assistance to coworkers when able to promote a feeling of security and belonging. It'll make that your coworkers feel good when you're reaching out a hand to help them. Having a support of a friend or a support of another human being that makes you feel loved, makes you feel in that belonging category. Participating fully in the reporting and documentation process of the facility to meet resident psychological and safety needs. Again, this will give you a sense of self-esteem in your job role. Feel good knowing that you're involved in the care, you're doing your job. You're gonna feel good that you're gonna keep your job by doing your job, which is all these things as part of your job. Accurately following training and agency policies and procedures. Again, this is to ensure it's to ensure that you feel a sense of love and belonging. But as well as a safety. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, there's a sense of safety. You're going to keep your job. You're going to have a good working environment with conditions when you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're able to pay for your food and stuff with the money that you make off doing your job. And to know that you will have your job long term. If you're doing your job, will bring a sense of safety, will it not? Being accountable for one's actions and job responsibilities to promote a feeling of self-actualization by meeting one's potential. When you're doing what you're supposed to do in the job, you're going to reach that self-actualization. You're content with your job. You feel good about it. And there's a decrease in harm with yourself on the job because you're doing what you're supposed to do. And there's a decrease in harm with the patients because you're doing what you're supposed to do and with the patients with their care. You're doing two assists with two people. you're actually changing the patient and bathing them. You're reporting abnormalities in the patient that you find to the charge nurse. All right, let's get to the conclusion of the matter. Surviving in this world as unique individuals takes organization. We can't possibly think that we should be worried about finding love if we are struggling to breathe, eat, or provide shelter for ourselves. The thing of the matter is to have our priorities straight, which is having the basic needs met first. When providing care for the patients, considering your needs will help to understand why others who can't reach them on their own are in need of your assistance. When we pair the developmental stages with the hierarchy of needs, we can get a better understanding of the reasons for the plans of care, which are all specialized to each patient. Unfortunately, healthcare as a whole cannot ensure that everyone reaches self-actualization, but with the provision of psychological, safety, and belongingness needs, we can ensure that these most basic needs are indeed met. We might not, the healthcare field may not be able to get you there to the self-actualization, but with the provision of the physiological, giving you something to eat, safety, making sure the doors are not accessible to strangers, belongingness, having you a spiritual avenue, having family come to visit, those most basic needs are provided so that you can reach self-actualization if you're ready for that. But they have to take care of those to keep you alive. If you're not having that love and belongingness, you can feel lonely to the point where you hurt yourself. We're human beings. We need the affection of other humans. So I hope I helped break down Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We're going to talk about the developmental stages next. So thank you again.